Happy New Year from Pacific Ashtanga, and wishing everybody out there in our extended family a beautiful year. What we'd like to do is extend our puja to all of you that are out there. We here in the class today are going to be doing it after class, but I'm going to talk you through it so that you guys can light your candles and set your intentions and start your new year out with us as well. So I asked everyone last week to pretend you're back in school again and you're all excited about your new school year and you're going to go school supply shopping, because this is our beginning of our Shala school year. And just that fun of going to get a beautiful journal for yourself, some cool pencils and pens, and begin journaling about your gratitude from the past year. And then also I asked you guys to consider some questions from our Hopi prayer that we've been reading this last month, to think about what you want to bring into your life this year. Some of the questions being, where's your water? Take care of your garden. What's your garden? How are you taking care of yourself? Speak your truth. So we have to kind of journal first and figure out what is our truth. So if you guys haven't done that yet, you still have an opportunity to do that. I think that first week of the new year is like the week we're all like preparing for 2017. So do a little bit of journaling, and then when you're finished, we'd like to invite you to do the puja. So the way we do puja here at the Shala is we usually begin with the ringing of a bell and incense to lift our prayers up and be heard and set our intentions. So you can light some incense at home, or also do any kind of like nice noise or music, or ring some bells for the new year. And then our tradition here is that we always begin with a flower, so maybe some flowers from your garden or around the house, or buy yourself some fresh flowers. Just take a moment just in meditation, holding your flower and setting your gratitude for 2016. So just sitting with what happened to you this year, all the good things that happened. I was saying, like, I never would have thought that we would have moved the Shala, especially not to this beautiful location here looking at the ocean. As Sweet Jasmine's here today, she was kind of part of the story of how we came to be here. But for me to look back on that this time of year and feel gratitude for that, and it also kind of sets it up to think, like, who knows what's going to happen this year, right? It just kind of creates that mystery in our life, or that thriller that it oftentimes is. But anyway, to spend some time with your flower and just all the things you're grateful for. Maybe you might reflect on some things that happened this year that were challenging. Maybe you're just grateful that you survived the challenges, or maybe there were some things that were hard for you this year, but you realized they made you stronger. You wouldn't have wished them upon yourself, but now that you sit with it, you realize that there's another side to it that you can be grateful for. And then you can present your flower on, maybe if you have a little altar or someplace at home you're doing your puja, you can set your flower on that. And the next thing we always do is light a candle, and the candle represents 2017. So what intentions, what do you want to bring into your life for 2017? And of course, looking back at the journaling we've been doing about, where's your water? What nourishes you? How are you taking care of finding your nourishment in your life? And then I love the question we asked you about, what is your garden, and how are you taking care of your garden? Jeannie asked the question. I said, well, my garden is my mom and my dad and my partner and my dogs and my home, and my garden is you guys. So first I asked myself the question, am I taking care of my garden? And I think it's a good question for us to stop in our tracks and ask ourselves. But then after I thought about that for a little bit, then I also asked myself the question, am I spending time in my garden? And I think it's important we create beauty, like you create a garden, you create something beautiful, and then we get so busy we don't spend any time in it. So it's a good time of the year for us to reflect on the things in our life that are most important to us. Are we really spending that time we want to with them? And then what we added to that last week, and I'd like to really encourage you guys that this week is about, or this year is about us challenging ourselves and taking risks. We talked about the happiness research that Csikszentmihalyi did, and he talked about in order to be in that perfect flow state, we have to have this right amount of ability and risk and challenge. And when we get those two just right, we find ourselves in this beautiful state of flow. You guys do that with your yoga practice all the time. If some pose is way, way too hard for you, I can't expect you to do it, right? Like, if you guys are new to headstand, you guys all remember the first time you did headstand. Where did you do headstand when you first started? on the wall, you know, and that was hard. But when you were able to hold a headstand near the wall and feel safe, then you went out into the middle of the room, and you did it in progression, and you know, all those things as ways that we kind of take risk in our yoga practice, and also we move past those through, you know, increasing our ability. So think about that in life. You know, where are you taking risk in life? Where are you doing headstands in life that you can start on the wall and progress to the middle of the room? Really want to support you as your teacher, as your school this year, to challenge yourself this year and to take some risks, little ones and big ones. Also, I promised you guys a Christmas gift, and I said you had to share it, but you guys are good at sharing, so I bought you guys all a compass that's going to sit on the altar this year, and it has a beautiful Robert Frost quote on the poem on the front. And I want the compass, like the deities, to remind you of energy in your life. Like Lakshmi reminds you of abundance, and Shiva reminds you of starting over, new beginnings, and Ganesh removing obstacles. I would like for this fairy compass to sit on the altar and remind you guys that this life is your adventure. That 2017, as you turn the page to the next chapter of your life, you really are the author of your life. You're the hero. Ryan's the hero of his story. You know, what will he do this year? It's an adventure. It's exciting. Some things will be really great. He'll tell us where he travels to this year, and he might have some challenges at work, but he's still going to be the hero of whatever happens to him and how he chooses to deal with it. So I want this just to remind you that it's a choice every single day of our lives to see our lives and meet the days and moments of our life in that fashion. And secondly, I want the compass to remind you of your true north. So I always say, you know, here in Orange County, our lives can get pretty stressful and complicated, and even for myself as a yoga teacher, I can get a little lost. My life can feel a little bit stressed or messy. And so the compass reminds me of my practice, reminds me of my Vijnana, my Kosha, my true north, where I can always get back to my path. I can always find my way and get back on track, you know, with the things that are important to me. So that is your compass, and for all of you, this will be with us for many, many years to remind you of these things in the chapters of your life, and to remind you to take risks. So I'll finish with our poem this week for the new year. Is a beautiful poem by Rumi. I read this every year for the new year. It's called Unfold Your Own Myth. So those of you that are with me now can close your eyes for the poem. This always has some message for us in it. Who gets up early to discover the moment light begins? Who finds us here circling bewildered like atoms? Who comes to a spring thirsty and sees the moon reflect in it? Who, like Jacob, blind with grief and age, smells the shirt of his lost son and can see again? Who lets a bucket down and brings up a flowing prophet? Or like Moses, goes for fire and finds what burns inside? Jesus slips into the house to escape his enemies and opens the door to another world. Solomon cuts open a fish and there's a gold ring. Omar storms to kill the prophets and leaves with blessings. Chase a deer and end up everywhere. An oyster opens his mouth to swallow one drop, and now there's a pearl. A vagrant wanders empty ruins, and suddenly he's wealthy. But don't be satisfied with stories, how things have gone with others. Unfold your own myth without complicated explanation, so everyone will understand the passage. We have opened you. Start walking toward Shams. Your legs will get heavy and tired. Then comes a moment of feeling the wings you have grown lifting. So in our effort to let this be our school that helps us grow and expands us and helps us remember that our life is our adventure and that we're each day unfolding our own myth, I ask you guys to consider taking some risks. And I'm finishing with a quote by one of my favorite movies called So You Bought a Zoo, which is a fabulous movie if you haven't seen it yet. So You Bought a Zoo. And it's based on a true story about a father and his two sons that buy a little bit of a zoo. Have you guys seen it? Yeah. It's Matt Damon in it. It's kind of older now, right? It's an awesome movie. Yeah, it's great. In the movie, his brother told him this when he was younger. It's something that was kind of a theme in his life, and he was telling his children this. And I want to give this to you guys, and I'm doing my usual like hypnosis where I'm putting it in your little brain somewhere. And one day you will think of this, and you will tell me a very good story. Here's your challenge from me. You know, sometimes all you need is just 20 seconds of insane courage. Just literally 20 seconds of embarrassing bravery. And I promise you something great will come of it. So, it could be in class. I could say to you, Sherry, give me 20 seconds of courage, right? But it's in your brain somewhere. There's going to be something big or little that's just going to happen. You're going to be like, I just need to be brave for 20 seconds. And then, tell me what happens. I can't wait to hear about it. As always, you guys truly inspire me. I look forward to our year together. Namaste.